Hi there, Loy Machedo, speaking to you from LoyMachedo.com. Who is Loy Machedo and Think Personal Branding? Today the date is 7th April 2018. Time right now is 5:41. This is a special video that I'm making exclusively for a good friend of mine. He's an Indian student based in India. His name is Chetan Kumar. I want to give out a shout out to Chetan Kumar. He's part of my WhatsApp group. New young lad, 17 years old, and he has been going out of the way to do a lot of things for my brand. So just want to say thank you to Chetan Kumar. And I normally, I charge people if I have to give them one-to-one mentoring. But however, for Chetan, given the fact that he's doing a very important project which is confidential for me, I thought I would return the favor by answering his questions. He has sent me 3 questions and I want to take the time and answer these 3 questions. So the 3 questions are, one is, do book suggestions by Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Mark Zuckerberg, all these big personalities, do they help us? Okay, that's the first question. Second question is, what would be the future of personal branding 10 years from now? Okay, personal branding question. And third one is, how do you implement ideas that we dream into reality, or how do you sketch the ideas? Intelligent question. So Chetan Kumar, my 17-year-old buddy who's part of my WhatsApp group, this is dedicated for you. Share it with your friends and you can brag about it. So, all right, anyway, let's get into the questions. Now, first one, do suggestions from Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Mark Zuckerberg, all these big personalities, do they actually help us? Okay. And now I'll give you my example. When I was young, okay, I was born and raised in a Christian Catholic family. Okay, my father never read any self-improvement book. Mother never read any book. The only book that they read was the Bible. That also, they just must have read few chapters, 4 or 5, and they would just go with the flow. And my friends were all South Indian friends based in Dubai. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the computer, so we had a very limited worldview. For me, the reality was, I was a Christian. Jesus was real. God is real. Muslims are fake. Hindus are fake, limited worldview. And Filipinos who wear earrings are gay, and Arabs are crazy. The stuff that parents speak privately. However, I was very curious. I wanted to learn so many new things. And that is where those days we used to have this Britannica encyclopedias. Britannica, huge number of books, like 20, 30 volumes, which you could buy for $1,000. I think it was $1,000, this massive library. So I used to love reading these books. I used to see the snakes. I love seeing those snakes, colorful snakes. I used to see those animals. I used to read about space age. So I used to read all these books, and it was like, wow, it used to give me a perspective. And then slowly I started reading books on history, which was more like a story. I read Eden Blyton, I don't know if I got that name right, storybooks. So slowly from there, I started reading books on the future, like these cartoonish kind of books about the future. And I was really happy that it took my imagination to such different worlds. However, I did not know anything like personal, like self-improvement existed. It was only when my stepfather, Frederick Pinto, his cousin, I think, Harry Miranda, he was a general manager of a company. He looked at me and he saw my father criticizing me and saying that, I'm a mistake, or I'm, restless, or I don't use my brain. So my stepfather always used to have this habit of insulting me. So this guy said, no, he's a special boy. And I felt nice, someone actually, because I was born and raised in an Indian family where the parents used to always criticize and make fun. And that's how they feel that they're doing a good job, by criticizing him. Oh, if only he had used his brains, if only he was smarter, if only he was more mature, all that shit. If only he studied hard. So this relative from my father's side, he said, I want you to read a book. And the first ever book, I don't know where I kept it, I wish I could show it to you. It was Think and Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, Napoleon Hill. He said, I want you to read this book and it'll change your life. So I was like, what is this book? What is this book? He said, just read it. So I took it pretty seriously. I never read a book which didn't have pictures in that. And this book didn't have any pictures. It was like, But I started reading, and in that book, it started to say, if you there's a seed of greatness in you. If you believe it, you can achieve it. And there is one secret that I want to tell you that can change your life. And I was like, wow, it's going to tell me the secret. So that book was a great storytelling format. So I started to read, where is the secret? And eventually I finished the book, and there was no secret as such, but it was like, believe in yourself and you can achieve impossible. And it kind of inspired me towards success, that Edison failed, but he achieved success. This guy failed, but he achieved success. So he had given a lot of examples of people who failed, but achieved greatness. So I was like, wow, maybe even I can achieve greatness. From there, I want to read, is there any other book? I found Napoleon Hill had 3-4 other books. So I bought all those books. I used to go to a bookshop, and those days, pre-internet, there was no Amazon. So if we could get a book, it was lucky. So I found a bookshop that was selling these books, pirated books. So I would stand there and read every day, like few lines or paragraph. And the guy looking at me reading the book, he maybe felt pity for me, so he gave me the book at a good price. I don't remember. I bought it for a small sum of money. So I started reading Napoleon Hill's books, then slowly moved to Norman Vincent Peale that had, Power of Positive Thinking, then Clement Stone. Then I bumped into Tony Robbins accidentally. So, I started reading these books. So now, as it started helping me, it gave me new confidence. It gave me belief in myself. It made me believe that I could do something. So now, coming to your question, do reading these books help you in any way? In a way, it helps you gain confidence, believe in yourself. You start dreaming of things that are not possible. You aspire to, stretch yourself. Like you read about a guy like W. Mitchell. I want you to Google. W. Mitchell is this guy who got completely third-degree burns. He lost his fingers. He had an accident, got reduced to a wheelchair, but today he's a professional speaker, travels around the world. His message is, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. So these kind of messages are positive, and it helps you internally. It helps you with how your mind works and how your heart kind of takes on challenges. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll achieve success. For example, you can give Napoleon Hill's book to maybe 100 people. That doesn't mean all the 100 people will become rich or successful. And today, in the day and age of the internet, today everyone has access to inspirational videos, motivational talks, PDF books. You can download, there are pirated books, you can buy books online. Amazon and all that was not there during my days. So it is just because everyone is reading a book doesn't mean everyone will achieve their dreams. And you need to understand the advice that Bill Gates, Richard Branson, all these guys give you is the same advice your father, mother, brother, sister, anyone could have given you. What they will tell you: work hard, dream of the future, have great teams, have focus, be persistent. Even the advice I'm giving you is the advice I read, because when I was born, I didn't know anything. How did I get this knowledge? I got it from somebody else. And today, if I'm sharing it with you, it's because the same advice that I got from somebody else, today I'm giving the same advice, and tomorrow you'll give this advice to maybe your children. So it's the same advice that is recycled over and over again. It just depends who's the storyteller. Now, just because Bill Gates gives you these 7 secrets to becoming a billionaire doesn't mean if everyone reads these 7 steps, everyone will become a billionaire. It doesn't work that way. So, in a nutshell, if I were to answer your first question, I would just say that these books give you positive kind of messages. It gives you positive messages. However, end of the day, if you don't work on it, it's pointless. It's like me reading a book on losing weight and getting 6-pack abs. I'm not going to get 6-pack abs unless I really work hard, kill myself, exercise, not eat junk food, really do exercise, maybe take steroids and do all that shit. Only then maybe I'll get 6-pack abs that I can, flash. So in the same way, just as I'll not get 6-pack abs by reading a book, but by actually doing it, I personally doubt anyone can achieve success by reading a book. It's just, it kind of gives your mind fuel for goodness. It fills your mind with good knowledge, it creates awareness, but unless you work on it, I doubt it's going to be helpful. So I hope this answers your first question, Chetan. It is, do book suggestions by Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Richard Branson and all the guys, do they help us? So now, question number 2 for Mr. Chetan Kumar, my 17-year-old buddy. The second question is, what would the future of personal branding be 10 years from today? What would the future be? Okay, even though this sounds like an intelligent future forecast question, I'll give you just the ground reality, okay? For example, if I were to ask you, what would the future of management be 10 years from today? It's going to be more or less the same. People will come out with different theories, like there is servant leadership, there is leadership by example, there is authoritative leadership, there is extreme leadership, there is accountability leadership. You can have fancy terms, but at the end of the day, leadership is leadership, management is management, work is work, okay? It's just that these authors come out with these fancy-pansy titles to sell their book because they want to make some money and they want to be famous. Because at the end of the day, all of us, whether it's an author, whether it's a speaker, we have to earn our livelihood. That's why we do all these gimmicks, write books or go for seminars or position ourselves as industry expert. It is for us to eat our daily bread, to live a good life. So I give you something of value. I hope you pay me some money. Okay? So that's why they come out with all these books. Now, in terms of personal branding, it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same as it is. The only difference being is, because a lot more people will come to know what is personal branding, there will be more competition to market and sell yourself. However, given the fact that today the internet and social media is so vibrant and it's becoming more and more affordable to people, eventually everyone would know what is personal branding. There would be a mad rush for each one to kind of position himself in this crowded marketplace. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. You have at least 1 million engineers. I'm just roughly giving you 1 million engineers who graduate. So if every engineer tries to wonder, how do I position myself? Okay, I'm a creative engineer. Other guy says, I'm a results-oriented engineer. Third guy says, I'm an engineer who works more harder than anyone else. Another guy says, I'm an engineer from Harvard. Another guy says, I'm an engineer from Stanford. So each guy is trying to position himself differently. Another guy might say, I'm an engineer who knows 7 different languages. Another guy will say, I'm an engineer who worked with the most famous engineer in the world. So each guy will try to position himself differently. But what will happen is, as personal branding as a subject becomes easily available to everyone, as the internet becomes cheaper, as handheld devices become, become a normal stay with everyone. Today, even you see a 5-year-old kid has a handheld device with an internet connection. So everyone would know what is personal branding. Everyone would try to incorporate personal, changing and positioning themselves as very unique. But in the end, I think it'll come down to who is more obsessed, who has the right connection, who is the right person at the right time, at the right place, doing the right thing, and being competitive. So personal branding in the next 10 years is going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be very competitive. It's going to be very extreme. But then again, it's not going to reinvent anything. It's like, management. Management, 20 years ago was still management. Leadership was still the same. Business management, leadership today is also the same. The future also will be more or less the same. So as a subject, it's not going to change. But as a lifestyle, as something that people would apply, they would be more aware, but it would be a lot more competitive in nature. And only the real, the ones who are really educated, the ones who really have substance, they would survive. Just to give you an example here, it's like in the 80s, you had motivational coaches, you had inspirational coaches. Motivation was, if you told someone, I'm a motivational coach, it was a badge of honor. That is in the early 80s. That is what Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, all these guys came. Today, if you tell someone I'm a motivational coach, they'll say, get out of here. You know, nobody wants a fucking motivational coach. It's like an insult. That's why they specialize on no more motivational coach. You know, once upon a time, walking on fire was like, wow. Today, if you walk on fire, it's like it's a gimmick. People know it's a gimmick. So in the same way, it's like there will be trends. So maybe today, personal branding, people can say I'm a personal branding strategist. 10 years from today or 20 years, they'll be, okay, you're a personal branding strategist, so fucking what? How does it help my bottom line? So that's the only thing. It's just going to be more competitive. It's going to be more difficult. And obviously, the return on investment will be checked on. That is why whenever anyone tries to position themselves as a personal branding strategist, they find it very hard because end of the day, why do I stand out, or why do people like Tom Peters or you know, the big heavyweights stand out? Because they have written books, they have written articles, they have put up videos. See, for example, me, I put 4,500 videos and articles. 4,500. It has taken me literally 6 years. Oh, sorry, 7 years of, you know, 10 hours each on average of, let's say, 8 hours, like office work, because this was my office work. So it's very hard for anyone to overthrow me. They can maybe pay Google for a month, but after that, they'll run out of cash. For me, it's more organic because I put content online. I'm still putting content. This is also content, you know. It's my time, it's my expertise. I edit this video, I put proper tags, I put proper descriptions. I market this to different people, and then I write articles. So it'll come down to content. So just to encapsulate, the future of personal branding 10 years from today will be very much, it'll be very competitive, very obsessively cutthroat, and in the end, only those who have credibility, who have strong recommendations, and who have substance, they will stand out. So I hope this answers your second question, my friend, Mr. Chetan. Okay. So now the third question by Mr. Chetan Kumar, my 17-year-old friend from India. Okay, his question is, Loy, how to implement the ideas we dream into reality? Okay. All right. This one's pretty simple. Okay, I'll give you an example so that it makes sense. So your question is, how do you implement an idea? So I have an idea. How do I implement it into reality? Okay, let's put it this way. I was, I think, 4 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago, I had stopped bodybuilding. I'd stopped bodybuilding for some time. I was really fat because both my knees were damaged, my lower back was damaged, and I was just doing heavy weights just for size. I was even taking injection steroids. But I knew I was not healthy. Why? Because I would eat a lot, I would exercise a lot, but I didn't have stamina to run or walk. I couldn't even walk a flight of stairs. So one fine day I decided I really want to be slim. I really want to lose this weight. So after looking at a video, I saw people, marathon running and running, jogging and all that. I said, okay, let me start running and jogging. So that was my idea. That is what I wanted. So if I wanted to, start being a runner, obviously I have to run. So, but in a strange twist, I decided instead of running with shoes because it was hurting my knees, I decided why not run barefoot. I don't know why, but I decided I would do barefoot. I went the first day out. I hardly went, I think 100 meters and my legs were paining, like only 100 meters, my legs were paining, I came back home. Second day I said, I'm going to do it again. Went again, came back home, my legs were aching, it was bad. I had to put my legs in ice water. If you check my Facebook, you'd see I was putting my legs in ice water. Third day, fourth day, fifth day, I kept doing it. Slowly from 100 meters went to 150, 200, 300, went 1 kilometer. And after 6 months, I was able to do like 7 kilometers. So, but it was still walking, it was not running. Then I accidentally saw a group of people running, and I saw them, and I asked them, what did they do? Because, I was doing it alone. He said they were marathon runners. So I was like, wow, even I'd like to join them. But these guys were doing like, 20 kilometers. And I was like, oh, I'm just struggling for, 5 to 6. How are these guys doing 20? So very soon they said, just join, you'll be able to do it. So then I joined them. And that is where after, I think 1 year, I was able to do 21 kilometers. Okay, so it went from 7 to 15 and finally to 21. But when I was doing the 21, I was the last guy to finish. From there, I started to put more effort, read more techniques, go to different people. And then I started to become competitive because I'm naturally competitive. And then I met someone, a group of guys, we all trying to compete with each other. Then it became personal. He started making fun of me and he kept getting better. I was not getting better. For 2 years, I tried to beat him, but I could not beat him. He was 50-year-old. His name is Chetan Kumar. Good friend, not good friend, but he used to always make fun of me. He was a yoga teacher, but he was improving. Imagine we were both running at the same pace, and after 2 years, he was running twice as fast as me, and I was not improving at all, even though I was working harder than him. Finally, I went to a professional coach because I took it so personally that he was insulting me, he was making fun of me. I actually spent, I think, literally $1,000 every month just to get his professional advice and training. Then it increased to $2,000 a month. And then I went into professional supplements. I went into professional running gear. You won't believe each and every running gear of mine. It was like $100, $150, $200, just even from the undergarments to the socks to the shoes to the gels to the food to the everything. It was crazy. And eventually, I beat him by a massive margin. From there, I went into swimming. From there, I went into cycling. From there, I moved into triathlon. Okay? Now, why did I tell you this story? It's because I had an idea up my head. And every time I had an idea, I had to do something about it. And obviously, I made a lot of mistakes in the way. A lot of mistakes. Things are not right. Some things are working. Some things are not working. And it's only because I kept doing something or another. I kept trying. I kept being competitive. I kept being obsessed about improvement. I kept making mistakes, trying out new things, asking people, seeking guidance, reading, researching. In fact, you can see there that full, those two shelves, those two compartments are full of books related to only running. Only running. I'm not joking. It's only running. So I wish you could see it. It's a little far. It's like the all the authors, all the global. I'll send you a photograph if you need. It's only related to running. So I was that obsessed. I would buy all the professional research material. I would buy all the supplements. I think I had at one point 18 pairs of shoes, different thickness, style, brand. I had different types. I had different undergarments. I had different, shirts. I had different, headbands, music. So it was crazy. So in answer to your question, how do you implement the idea into reality is, ideas are worthless. It's fucking worthless unless you implement it. Because once after you implement the idea, then once you actually do it, you'll get the feedback and know, is it improving, not improving? Then you need to do it again. Then you'd find out, is it improving, not improving? Then you do it again. And that's how you improve and get better and better and better. And eventually you achieve success. So how do you implement ideas? You just implement them. Whether good, bad, ugly, whether it's right or wrong, you'd come to know immediately. And then after that, move to step number 2. Then you try again, good, bad, ugly, it's working, not working. Doesn't work, do it again. Keep doing it, and that's how you achieve success, and that's how you achieve results. So I hope, Chetan Kumar, this gave you an answer to your question. So like I said, Chetan, this video is entirely dedicated to you. I hope this answers your question. Thank you very much for asking me these questions. And this is Loy Machedo saying goodbye for now. So thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't like the video, put your comments. I'd love to hear from you. This is me saying goodbye for now. Take care.